The timing of his death doesn't benefit Russia. The timing of his death benefits the West. That's where a lot of people there was one person who said, I didn't think the CIA took him out until Biden made a big deal about being taken out.
Robert, I was watching Biden's presser, and the thought hadn't entered my head, and I felt stupid. But then he's like, now's the time. Literally, people, history is watching, and now let me milk it.
While they can't get a vote, they can't get Ukrainian money passed. They can't get the Patriot Act restored. And first they say Putin's got space nukes. He's going to put nukes up in space. That was their first line of excuse. And now the new one is, look, he killed the great Navalny, the great civil rights leader. This is literally our man in Havana, Taylor of Panama, written to life. And the number of people who buy it is extraordinary. Amnesty International got in trouble last year when they were promoting him. And people are like, well, let me give you some of Navalny's quotes over the years. It's him referring to certain groups as cockroaches who need to be stepped on. And Amnesty was like, we missed that part of the memorandum. The guy's a complete fake. He makes us look like such a joke to the Russian audience. That's like, we never liked. This would literally be like saying Lyndon LaRouche was the most popular man in America and had been stolen his ability to be president. And Americans would be like, what in the heck are you talking about?
Alexei Navalny. What was he, Larry? Was he CIA? Was he MI6? What was he? Or was he just a Russian who had the courage or craziness to try and take on Vladimir Putin?
He's an irrelevancy. He was something that was used by Western intelligence as a wedge to try to portray Putin as some dictator, some tyrant. How rich and ironic it is that they're, weeping for the loss of Navalny. Oh my God, look how Putin prosecutes his political opponents on the same day that some judge in New York is fining Donald Trump $350 million for a crime he did not commit. No bank lost any money. On the same day that you have hundreds of Republicans in jail for entering the Capitol. They did not cause damage. They did not attack police, but for the mere act of, quote, trespassing on the people's house, which belongs to them, they're in jail. The police officer that shot and killed Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed woman and veteran of the Air Force. So what we've had happen in the United States over the course of the last 4 years, the United States has lost all moral standing to criticize any other country about political oppression and abuse of human rights. Look in the damn mirror, fix ourselves first, let the Russians take care of the Russians.
His campaign manager was caught on tape trying to pitch the West, hey, give us $20 million and we'll overthrow the government for you.
A little money, if somebody would spend, I don't know, $10, $20 million a year on supporting this, we would see quite different picture. And this is, not a big amounts of money for people who have billions at stake in this game.
Yeah.
So that's the message that I'm trying to project in my fundraising efforts and talking to people in business communities.
Yeah.
You need to play on different chessboards. Mass protests, civil initiatives, propaganda, establishing contacts with the elite and explaining to them that we are reasonable people and we're not going to demolish everything and take away their assets, things like that. So we'll see what comes out of that. So this broadly describes what I do.
Now, the other thing he did is he used his new YouTube channel. So he was one of the first people in Russia to, for being an online blogger, also one of the first people to use YouTube in a particularly effective manner.
He had 6 million followers at one point on his channel.
Oh, exactly. Boosted big. Now, part of that was because he was a Western-backed guy. The West was backing him to support him with this idea that he would be the next president. They really convinced themselves. I think some were the smarter ones knew they were lying. Your Kissingers of the world knew this guy was was an unpopular version of Lyndon LaRouche. But the delusional ones convinced themselves that, it's like in Taylor of Panama, where the general says, "Gentlemen, there's a star missing from our flag."
There's a missing star on our flag, gentlemen.
There are some people like that in the West that really convinced your Condoleezza Rices of the world, some others, convinced themselves he was this deeply popular leader. He never had any popularity ever in Russia. But he had global. A lot of the 6 million weren't Russians. But what he did a good job of was, in his grifter space, he became a guy who you could pay him to rat out your enemies. So if you had an enemy within the government or an enemy within the Russian economic structure, you would go to Navalny, feed him a bunch of dirt about your opponent, and rat him out. Now, he got into trouble for this because he did no due diligence on any investigation he reported. So he got successfully sued for defamation, for libel, for other conspiracies because he couldn't back up what he claimed. But he developed this sort of gadfly, ne'er-do-well, protest outsider challenger within, particularly the younger population within Russia that was big in social media, kind of liked him. But that was the extent of it. He had no popular appeal beyond it. And then once he was like doing pro-BLM stuff, pro-gay marriage stuff, pro-Ukraine stuff, he lost all appeal entirely. So, but the West convinced themselves that they could stage a coup, that they would overthrow Putin, and they would put Navalny in.
Subscribe to the Dummy Funnies now!